Okay, Kathy.
In this chapter of my ALS story, Kendra Womack will share with us about her experience as a caregiver and caring for her mother, Elaine Womack. In her story, Kendra shares how caring for a loved one with ALS changes a person from the inside out, deepening compassion and strengthening a commitment to helping others facing the same journey. Kendra will explore how caregiving became both a challenge and a calling. Her perspective speaks directly to caregivers, patients, and families who often feel unseen while navigating the realities of ALS. And thank you for sticking with me while I got through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for moderating for us.
No,
And
it's my pleasure.
we'll go ahead and pass it off to Kendra.
Thanks, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Kendra, and thank you for giving me the space to share some of my story with you all. I'm here as a daughter and someone who helped care for my mom during her journey, and as someone who's still learning what life looks like after caregiving and loss as well. I did lose my mom to ALS in January of 2021, so it's been about 5 years since she's passed. And I'm definitely not an expert. I don't have any perfect words or anything for how I'm navigating this journey or for caregiving in general. But I do just want to talk a little bit with you guys honestly about what ALS did to my family and what caregiving taught me and why a community matters so much when battling ALS. So before I get started about caregiving, I do want to spend some time to talk a little bit about my mom. She was one of the most important people in my life, and she wasn't just a patient. And I know sometimes when we go through things, we can become the thing that we're going through. And I'm kind of glad my mom didn't do that. She was a mother, she was a woman of faith. She was someone who loved very hard. She had a lot of strength and a huge personality. She was the person who cared for me first. She cared for everyone in my family and all of her friends. So when I became one of the people caring for her, that shift was very emotional for me, but it wasn't a question. It was, I'm doing this. Like, there's not even an option for me not to do it because I love my mom and she would do it for me. And so, other than just helping with tasks and things like that, I became like my mom really became my true best friend during her battle with ALS because we did spend so much time together. And watching her as someone who has been so strong, and she was still very strong, meet me was very, I don't want to call it inspiring, but it was a humbling experience as well. My mom's diagnosis didn't happen overnight. She did go through a bunch of different tests and doctors and appointments to try to figure out what was going on with her. Her story of her being diagnosed was by accident, actually. She had already been to a few neurologists. I do want to talk a little bit about her diagnosis first. She went to a few different appointments with different doctors, and she eventually ended up staying with me one day to visit me while my aunt, who's actually, I think my aunt is here today. Yeah, okay. She went out of town, and my mom was staying with her. My aunt was helping to care for her until we could kind of figure out what was going on with her. So my mom came to stay with me when my aunt was out of town, and she happened to choke on her medication and ended up in the ER at Duke University Hospital, where they diagnosed her with ALS within 2 to 3 days, which we are very, very grateful for. Because if it had not been for her choking on a pill and ending up in Duke's ER, she probably would have been a few months out, or even if she lived that long before she found out what was going on with her body. So after she was diagnosed, she did continue to live on her own for almost a year, I believe, before I became her full-time caregiver. I would like to call myself a virtual caregiver because I wasn't there all the time. She was still capable of doing a lot of things on her own for a while until she wasn't able to. So I didn't just wake up one day and suddenly become a caregiver. It kind of gradually happened over time. And once I was a full-time caregiver for her, I did have to learn as each day went by. ALS is an ever-changing disease. Like one day it's one thing and another day is another thing. So you have to kind of learn as you go. And you can't really plan for when things will happen. You know they're going to happen, but you never know when. And for me, at first, caregiving looked like showing up and just checking in, going to appointments, listening and becoming an advocate because I love to talk. Like my mom had to remind me a lot that I'm a child and she could still basically make her own decisions. But I did learn to become an advocate in that sense. And it also taught me to pay more attention to detail. It taught me how to ask proper questions and be more intentional with the questions that I'm asking and finding ways to protect her dignity as she lost the ability to do things like talk and walk and eat and try to help her make her feel more like herself. So caregiving isn't just physical work, it is emotional work. And I will say that the emotional part of caregiving is much more heavier than the actual physical labor of it. I didn't learn to be a caregiver from a manual, even though I joined a ton of Facebook groups to learn how to be a caregiver. And I learned it by loving my mother through her journey. And caregiving isn't something you just do with your hands, it's what you carry in your heart too. So throughout the time I was taking care of her and going with her through her journey, I learned that I had to make sure my heart was in everything I was doing with her. There were days when I did feel like I was strong, like I could do anything for her. I was going to do anything for her, for myself. But then there were more days than not that I was also scared, tired, and a little overwhelmed. But I'm very grateful I had my mom there to help ground me. I had my family. They were very helpful throughout the entire process. Like, I don't know where I would have been without them, emotionally or physically. And sometimes people see caregivers as just strong people who get things done, but we're also very human. And I feel that when people become caregivers, some people see that's all they are, they're just caregivers, and forget that there is a human aspect of caregiving as well. We go through all the emotions that we used to go through times 100. And we always question if we're not doing enough. And for me, I did that a lot. I was always questioning if I'm doing the right thing, or if I'm doing enough of the right thing, or if I'm doing the wrong thing, or anything that could actually hurt my mom. One of the hardest parts of caregiving is for me loving my mom through something I can't fix. That was one of the struggles for me. It was something I couldn't just put back together for her or go and get a prescription and she would be automatically better, even though I wish it was. And I wanted to make it better, but I couldn't. But the one thing I did was remain present and remember how my presence was one of the most important parts of her journey. Throughout me caring for my mom, I do want to talk a little bit about my family dynamic and my friends. Sometimes you don't get to choose your family, sometimes you do, but when it came to me, I had a really great family. My cousins, my sister, my aunts and uncles, my distant family, they all stepped in and helped my mom when she needed it when I wasn't around. And when I was around, they would show up and relieve me sometimes. And I was very grateful for that. And then I also had friends. I had friends who would go grocery shopping for me when I didn't want to leave my home, or just bring me meals or come by and talk to me outside. Unfortunately, my mom dealt with ALS during COVID, so there wasn't a lot of interactions that we could do. Um, in the beginning, it kind of started right when she was diagnosed. So we were somewhat isolated, but just having family and friends to show up in a way that they could show up did mean the world. And it didn't just, her diagnosis didn't just affect her, it affected our entire family and our entire community in a way that we more than likely didn't expect. I know I didn't. And having a community for me wasn't complicated. I'm very grateful it wasn't, because it would have been very difficult to deal with a situation where I didn't have anyone to lean on. And during that time, I did use a lot of Facebook groups. Facebook is a amazing tool, and that's why I'm very grateful for ALS community, because it is doing what I wish I had during the time I was caring for my mom. Having a space where everyone can show up and be themselves and learn and grow and do things together. One thing I did want to talk about is grief. I am still navigating what that looks like. I don't know exactly. I understand what grief is. I'm not going to give a definition because I don't have it, but what it is exactly isn't the same for everyone. I don't know if I have experienced it yet or not. I don't know if I go through it daily. I just know that it is a part of the process that most likely never ends. And of course, my mom passed, everyone telling me, oh, it'll get better with time. And it does get better with time. But everyone who has lost someone does know that you still have those moments, even when it does get better. So I'm learning how to carry that on my own and with those I love. It doesn't just go away after someone passes and they've been gone for a while. But I also want to touch on grieving while someone is still alive. I experienced a lot of grief once my mom was diagnosed with ALS, and I don't know if that's really talked about a lot. Um, I remember I was spending time just crying in my car on my way to work because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? This can't be happening. Like, it's not real. I would think that I would go home and she would be better. I will always think that. That would definitely be my prayer almost every morning. Like, I'm going to go home and she's just going to be better. This was a mistake and she was joking. So, living grief is a real thing. And that is something that I did experience when my mom was living. And I'm not sure if it made the grief process after her passing a little easier, but it is at the top of the list of things that I experienced while caregiving that I just didn't necessarily understand how to navigate at the time. And I hope in the future I can understand how to navigate that better so I can help others to go through their journey.
Kendra, may I read something from the chat to you?
Yeah.
Brandy just said, grief hits you like a gut punch.
Definitely.
Yep. And Brian also said something too. He said, having a community of support is important. I feel for the caregivers as well as those they are giving care to.
Thank you. Community is, I do want to touch back on the community part because I do know some people do not have the community that others may have, but building your community is something you can do when you're ready. There are in the ALS community so many different organizations and people who are there to support. And I am very grateful for that. That is another reason why I volunteer and why I chose to be a part of the ALS community, to be there for others who are navigating their journey. And being a caregiver actually taught me a lesson about just being there, as I mentioned, being available as you can. You don't have to show up every day, all day, not even every week, but just checking in with someone, even if they're not going through anything, and being around for the people you care about in some way is very important. Um, some people do feel like you have to just be there all the time for everything, and that's not true. A little piece of time here and there is definitely, it means the world to people. It meant the world to me when I was taking care of my mom, just someone checking in every once in a while. I didn't expect a phone call every day, like I said, but just checking in to see how I'm doing really helped me to get through the day sometimes. And then Brandy, I think it was Brandy who made the comment about grief, Kathy.
It was Brandy that's made the
Yes.
comment that grief hits you like a gut punch.
Yes, it does. And I have a story about that. I was in, no, CVS a few months ago, and I walked past a candle that wasn't even burning. It smelled very strong. I think it was a Glade candle, and it smelled like my mom. And I had a breakdown in the middle of CVS. Like I had to leave, couldn't get my prescription. I was like, this is crazy. Like having a memory like that, just something smelling like something that my mom used to have. I think it was like a household cleaner or something, but it hits you out of nowhere over some of the smallest things. So that's definitely true. It doesn't hit you like a slap. It hits you like it can knock the breath out of you sometimes, because I've definitely experienced that as well. I chose to share my story about caregiving and my mom's ALS journey because I wanted to inspire others. I didn't get to hear a lot of stories when I was caring for my mom. I didn't know about a lot of organizations or things where I could actually talk to people. But now that I do, I make it my purpose to advocate for those who need assistance or those who just need someone to talk to or be around. And I feel that is an important part of my mom's legacy, because she was always caring for other people, looking out for other people, having random things to help other people, whether it be a pot or a pan or giving others a ride somewhere. She was always there and always advocating for other people and using her voice to speak up when she needed to. She didn't mind talking and saying what was on her mind or what she was thinking. I'm a little different. Sometimes I'm a little bit more reserved, but I learned that it is important to advocate and speak up when you need to. And this is definitely something that I'm always going to speak up about. Her story still matters, and I wouldn't have a story if it wasn't for her. So I definitely appreciate you guys allowing me to tell my story today and talk a little bit about my mom and caregiving. Did anyone have any questions or anything they would like me to expand on?
I'd like to say something. Hi, Kendra. This is Katrina Bird. I look a
Katrina?
little different. I look a little different now. uh, yes, I've lost 144 pounds since you probably last saw me.
Yes, you're looking amazing. It's so nice to see you.
It's great to see you in this space. Thank you for being here. And I wanted to come. I'm sorry I was late for your talk. Um, but I just was so excited to see you in this space. Like, wow, I know her. Um, Grief has been kind of rough for me um, in the past 6 years. And I've been, putting up a good front and so forth. Um, and but it's hard because I don't have community where I am, and my social media presence makes me look like I'm always in the know, and I'm really most of the time just in my house. Um, and I was wondering if you could tell us maybe a little bit with how you have dealt with grief since your mom passed.
So I mentioned a little earlier, I really do not know if what I have experienced is necessarily grief, but I feel like it may be a form of it. Um, how I navigate some of the feelings that I have is I do journal. I journal a lot. I have a lot of journals. Like I could probably have a library of my journals. I do write a lot. And like you, I do have I'm not on social media a lot, but I am very active in my groups that I am in. And just finding people that I connect with um, do help me to come up from whatever down space I'm in. But then also memories. I do read through my mom's text messages a lot that are conversations that we had. And I would think they would make me cry, make me sad, but they don't. It makes me feel like she's still here with me. And that's one way I definitely navigate different moments that I have, in addition to just learning to breathe. I had to learn to breathe, to reset, to step away, to stop whatever I'm doing. And if it requires me to take a nap, I will take a nap. I don't nap as much as I should probably, but I take the time to bring myself down and ground myself and not go off I don't want to say the deep end, but just
Yeah.
continue to go downward because I know if I don't move, if I don't get up and do something, if I don't do an activity, even if it is sleeping, because sleeping is an activity, even if I don't, even if I don't have anything else to do, I will find something to do. Going outside or watching a TV show, anything to get my mind off of it or distract me. But again, sometimes going back to memories that I have with my mom helps to ground me and pull me out of whatever funk I'm in at the moment.
Thank you so much for answering that. And I'll share a little bit here in this space. So I celebrate that I've lost 144 pounds, but I've been sick for years and didn't realize it. And it kind of came to a head last year. I was feeling really, really bad. And I was in my house for about 2.5 months. Nobody saw me because I could order my groceries, what little I ordered. So, and my family didn't come by. Nobody saw me, but yet I had all these interactions, but yet I gained 75 pounds and I wasn't eating enough. And when I did get to the hospital, I had to go by ambulance because I could not sit up in the car because I was so swollen in the middle, I couldn't bend it very well. And I got to the hospital and I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. So I had 144 pounds of fluid on me. And I mastered the physical part. I've done the cardiac rehab, I've taken my medications, I'm doing everything I need to do. And I think as I approach, I think on like what was going on this time last year, one of the things that scare me is how do I not get in this shape again? Because this was more of it had its physical effects, the disease did, the congestive heart failure, but it was more of a mental disease. And I think a lot of it was brought on by grief. And it was just, I just don't want to get in that shape again. And I've been walking and I've been exercising. I've been doing, a lot of what I can do. Um, but this is not a question for you to answer. But thank you so much for sharing your experience and and yeah, and giving me an opportunity to kind of share and
Definitely.
y'all call me out, don't let me just get by and say, oh, I'm good. How are you? Just ask me sometimes, how are you doing? How are you really doing?
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you, Katrina. And
Thank you, Kendra.
I can understand what you're saying. Going back to navigating grief and me saying that I don't know what it really feels like or what it is or if I'm in it or when different moments hit me, if it is actually grief, whether I'm thinking about my mom or not. I'm not a doctor by any means, but after my mom passed, my migraines came back, and I feel like that was a somewhat of a symptom of me not really knowing how to navigate my grief, and they came back with a vengeance. So, I can definitely understand that, and I'm really glad you're doing better.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it doesn't come with a manual.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know I suffered from a lot of guilt.
Yeah,
And
understandable.
yeah, a lot of guilt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Kendra, we have
oh,
a couple of
okay.
comments. Brandy said, thank you for sharing and keeping the awareness going.
You're welcome, Brandy.
Oh, I know, she's so sweet. And then Lisa said, thank you. My husband is my caregiver and I'm stubborn and drive him crazy. I can't see that, Lisa. What can I do to make him feel valued and keep his spirits up? That's a really good question, Lisa.
It is. And Lisa,
Mhm.
I have my aunt, and I think my cousin's on the line too. My mom was a little stubborn. Like she told me all the time, I'm the mom and you're the child. Like she would tell me this all the time. And she was just something she would listen to me on. But I did kind of have a time where I kind of just took over and I felt like I was trying to be the mom. And it wasn't intentional. It was just like I wanted to take care of her. But because she was my mom, I just had to let her do what she wanted to do. But at times I did have to put my foot down and I feel so bad. Feel so bad for doing this. Sometimes I had to do what I needed to do and then just ask for forgiveness later to make sure she was okay when she was in her stubborn moments. Like I knew she needed to do something, but she didn't really want to do it. So I feel for you and with you, Lisa. Um, you had a second part to your question.
Oh,
Was it a second?
oh, I'm sorry. She said, what can I do to make him feel valued and keep his spirits up?
Listening to him is the
Oh,
most important thing. I don't know. Does he have, do you have bulbar onset? Or is it just Len?
Lisa has bulbar,
Oh, Lisa. Oh.
Kendra. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I switched it around.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
so your
Lisa,
husband's the caregiver. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
no, you didn't know.
Yeah, so to keep his spirits up, I saw her doing things that I knew she didn't have to do. Like she didn't have the full physical ability to do it. But she would do certain things to kind of help me out and keep my spirits up. I came home one day and she did my laundry, and I don't know how she did my laundry, but she did it. And it made me so happy because I don't like doing laundry. It's not my favorite thing to do. She had this thing where she would send memes to me all the time, and they would just cover things that I'm like going through or what I'm thinking, and they would be very, very funny. But just listening to him and understanding him and looking at his needs outside of being a caregiver, like things he needs as a caregiver would definitely be helpful. But my mom definitely found ways in what she was dealing with to make me happy. Um, and it didn't take much because just being in her presence was enough for me, like just her being here. And as a caregiver, I want you to understand that your husband, especially if he's taking care of you, you being happy and you being there and seeing you in a positive mood, and you expressing how you really feel is the best gift ever. Like communication is everything. So just continuously talking to him and being truthful about how you feel is one way to keep his spirits up because it will allow him to be able to know how to take care of you better so he can also take care of himself. Oh, and movie nights also help. Me and my mom had a lot of movie nights and TV shows we watched together.
What was your favorite?
So there's this show, and I actually still watch it. I don't know if they have new series out, but I'm pretty sure they do. It's called Heartland. It's about, I think it's based in Canada. I don't know if anyone has seen it, but it's basically about a horse farm and a family who has a horse farm, and it's one of actually my favorite shows now.
Oh, I
A
love
nice
that.
wholesome show. It was good. We watched all of it together. The last movie we actually watched together was The Lion King.
Oh,
The live action version, I think it was. Yeah. And did I
I
miss?
love The Lion King. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it was a really great movie. Even the new ones are really good. I didn't miss any other questions, did I?
who, Katrina? Did you say that?
Hmm? Oh, I said I love The Lion King. Um, and I guess I was gonna ask Kendra, did you and your mom do other things like maybe go to a concert or plant flowers or just
Mm,
sit and laugh?
Not really. After like I said, she was diagnosed right before COVID hit. So
Mhm.
there wasn't really much movies or concerts we could go to.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but we loved shopping together. We didn't really get to do much together.
Mhm.
But once we were kind of like stuck in the house for a little bit, when we did go out, she did go out sometimes. It wasn't all the time she would feel up to going outside, but when she did, we would definitely enjoy ourselves.
Kendra, could you share your little Lion King story that you had with how you got things rolling really fast for your mom?
Oh, with the clinic and the
Yes, please.
okay, yes. So after she was diagnosed with ALS at Duke Hospital, it just so happened that they had an appointment come available at the Duke ALS clinic, which I am forever grateful for. She was diagnosed, I think, at the end of June, and she got an appointment 2 weeks later after the 4th of July to see Dr. Betlak, which was amazing. I thought we were going to have to wait months. They were telling us it would be like a few months out before we could get an appointment. And at that moment, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do because I don't even know anything about ALS. But as soon as we got to the clinic, it's like things just kind of went from there. But leading up to that, and Kathy, I understand what you're saying now. The
Yes,
previous
sorry.
appointment. I'm from a small town. I'm from Reidsville, North Carolina, and there aren't too many neurologists in Reidsville, unfortunately. And my aunt was primarily taking my mom to her doctor's appointments, and they were not getting any results. And I don't like not getting results. So one of her, well, actually her last appointment, going to that neurologist, I went with my mom. I took off from work. I drove to Reedsville and I went into the appointment. And the doctor came in and he was very dismissive, trying to diagnose her with something else that was going on, and I just wasn't having it. He had already diagnosed her with and I'm saying this wrong, myasthenia gravis, I believe. And that's not what she had. My sister said it has to be something else. We knew it was something else. So I asked for a referral, and at first they did not want to give me one. And I don't want to say I got into an argument with the doctor, but we ended up with a referral. He was trying to refer us somewhere else to a hospital that he worked at for a second opinion, and that's not what we wanted. And in order for her to get into Duke Neurology, she did need a referral. And the only way for her to get it was to get it from her doctor. But we walked out with a referral to Duke. Unfortunately, we did go to a first appointment, but before they could do more testing, she ended up in the hospital and was diagnosed with ALS before her second appointment, where they were going to do more testing to see what was going on. So access to care is very, very important, especially in the new caregiver role. Just making sure that when you're caring for someone, no matter what the illness is, that you are doing your due diligence to advocate as best you can for the person to get the proper care.
Brian has a comment, Kendra. Brian said, "Thank you so much for sharing. Much of what you shared mirrors what I went through with my father. It helps so much to hear your words."
You're welcome, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us.
And may I say that, what you did was so powerful for your mom, because myasthenia gravis is very different from ALS, very different. So he was going completely down the wrong road.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't, been in there being the powerful woman that you are, your mom's journey may have been very different. So, yeah, that's really, really amazing, Kendra.
Yes. And thank you so much, Kathy. And I feel caring for people, whether it's a family member or someone you just met on the street, just being intentional about your walk in life in every way is very, very important. No matter what action you're taking, being intentional about it. And that's how I lived my life, especially caring for my mom, being intentional with my actions.
Lisa said, "What would you do differently?" Lisa asked, "What would you do differently?" Sorry.
Lisa, I feel like I have a long laundry list of things that I would have done differently, especially in my mom's passing, like leading up to the weeks before she passed, if I would have known. Um, it has kind of taught me to take more time for myself, like, and slow down. I would have slowed down more. I was still trying to do all the things. I was trying to work all the time, take care of my mom, do everything else I needed to do in my life, socialize. And it's not that I couldn't do all those things, but I didn't have to. I didn't have to still work 40 plus hours a week. I could have taken more time if I would have managed the rest of my life a little differently. To put myself in a better situation where I could have taken more time. But slowing down. Life does not have to move so fast because it's already moving fast. You don't have to move fast too.
And I know Katrina can give you the comment herself. Katrina, do you want to tell Kendra what you just said on chat?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And a lot more. Kendra, I, I couldn't type it all because of my fat fingers. Um, But yes, Kendra, thank you for being here. You are brave, compassionate, thoughtful, intentional. It takes a really big heart to join the team, the
Oh,
care, because caregiving with someone is a team sport, and you've done a wonderful job here. And you said something earlier that I caught. You said that let's see, that your mother, if your mother didn't have this story, then you wouldn't have a story. Many times I feel like Dora provided, a story for me as well. So, and thank you for honoring your mother's journey and this beautiful story. You've done a fabulous job here. You did a fabulous job caring for her.
Thank you, Katrina. That means a lot, especially coming from you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do want to say to caregivers and even pals, like take care of yourself, take time for yourself. It's a journey, not a marathon. Like slow down, take time for yourself, smell the flowers, smell something. Don't just focus on what you're going through because life still goes on. One thing my mom told me before she passed is that life will still go on. I have to keep moving and I have to keep moving for myself. Um, I can cry for her, but don't cry for too long. But then I was like, you don't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do when you're not here. But I understand what she's saying. I can cry and I still do cry, but you still have to move. Um, Even if you can't move physically, you can still take action in some way to live the beautiful life that you are given.
Kendra, there's a comment from someone named Jamie Johnson. Are you familiar with her?
Yes, that's my cousin.
I'm gonna cry, so bear with me. She said, "I just want to say Kendra is an amazing woman. Her strength has encouraged me. She took the best care of my Aunt Aileen, I'm sorry, and our family is grateful for her. We are proud of your continued work as an activist for ALS. You are so loved, Jamie."
Oh, Jamie, don't make me cry.
I'm crying too. And then
But I wasn't
Brandy
gonna cry.
said, "You are her legacy." And you really are, Kendra. You brought your mom to light for us, to light. And that was amazing.
Thank you, Brandy. And I wish you all could have met her. You would have loved her. She loves everyone. She loved to hug. She was a hugger. It annoyed me sometimes, but she was a hugger. So she would have loved, and I really wish she would have been able to be around for organizations like ALS Community to be a part of it because she would have been an amazing advocate for herself and for others. And now that I can see everyone on the screen, I see that not only is one of my cousins here, two of my cousins are here, and my aunt is here. So they were all a major part, like, and this is what I mean by community.
Yes. Katrina's flouncing her boa at you.
Thank
If
you,
I
Katrina.
had one, I would flounce it too, but I don't have a boa. So
Katrina, I still need to get a boa. I've known you for years and I still don't have
we
one.
all need a boa. We should have a boa night where we all show up with a boa. Um,
But community is very, very important. Like they're here. I didn't expect them to be here today. Like I shared this with them and I was like, you guys can come. But yeah, I did not expect them to be here today. So thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you being here. And I thank everyone else too. This was very nice. And Galen, Kathy, thank you both so much. Like this is very important work that you're doing because those living with ALS and their families, they cannot fight this alone.
that's so true. That's so true. It is a community. You need a village. And obviously, you had a village, and your village is just amazing too.
Yes, I could not do life without them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you all so much.
thank you, Kendra. Very much appreciated. It was really beautiful to have you share your story, share your mom's story, to have us all together in this virtual room and kind of connect over all the different experiences of caregiving that's out there and sharing about our grief and sharing about our joys. It's really powerful. It's a powerful way to bring community together and to grow connection. And a way that we can keep that going, I'd like to sort of invite Kathy. Do you want to explain the caregivers community on the site?
Yes, may I read just a couple more comments really quick?
Oh, absolutely. Please and thank
Yes.
you.
Brandy said it can help release some of the grief. And Shirese, am I reading that right? It's my glasses. Appreciate you, Kendra. Love you. Apparently, you know Shirese. Did I say her name correctly?
She's my cousin too.
Oh, and Lisa sent you big hearts.
Thank you.
And Katrina Flonsterboa at you again.
Thank you.
Apparently, Katrina has two. Oh, thank you, Shirese. Apparently, Katrina has two boas. Very quickly, we do have a caregivers community within the ALS community, and we would love for you to join and just be a part of it, especially, those who kind of feel alone and kind of need a community. We would be happy to have you be a part of it. And we would love if your cousins joined, Kendra. They were caregivers in their own way, weren't they?
Yes, and they, especially my cousin Jamie, she's a mom and a wife, and she is always caring for someone, whether they're sick or not. I learned she was my mom's like first caregiver. Like she was there when I could not be there, and I'm forever grateful for her for that. Like I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Yeah, so they are caregivers, and my cousin Sharice and Lita, they are caregivers in their own way. Their mom, I don't think my aunt Yvonne is on here, but she is also a caregiver. I think she's still a caregiver. So yes, she was a caregiver to my grandmother for years. So I guess we're a family of caregivers in some way.
Absolutely. And Lisa wants to see Galen's boa.
I'll have to go, all my boas I left at my mom's place, so I'll have to go pick them up next time I'm there.
Brandy said, you all have a great evening. Thank you, Kendra, for sharing your story.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yes. And
Yes.
Katrina's laughing at Lisa.
I hope we all get to connect in the community. I'll be around.
Yes, and
Kendra,
so I will put in the chat before we all sign off here. There's a few links in the chat. There's a link to the caregivers community. There's also a caregiving library where there's some AI generated content that has started off some conversations in there. We encourage you to look through those explainer videos and leave comments, sharing if there's any corrections or sharing your own experiences and resources that we can help make that library content better and better over time. And then there's also the Connection Cafe every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We will connect there, and we can keep these connections going and share about our experiences and we really hope to see everybody who wants to come. We thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Deb
you.
Thompson said, Kendra, you are amazing. Thank you for sharing your inspiration and your heart.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are
you.
amazing.
And
I
if
hope
anyone, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kathy. Sorry.
No, I just hope we can do this again,
Yes.
Kendra.
Definitely. And if anyone has any like follow-up questions or anything, please feel free to chat me, message me. I am more than happy to talk. If you just want to call me and scream for some reason because you need to let out some energy, that is perfectly fine too. I am here to be here. I'm here to be here. I'm here to support in any way I can.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Kendra. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we'll see you on the site, and hopefully we'll see you in the Connection Cafe and or at the next My ALS Story. You all
Thank
take
you.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you
Awesome
all.
job, Kendra.
Hey,
Thank
Kendra,
you.
I can't thank you enough. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, bye. I'm
Bye.
gonna cry again.